What's going on, everybody? Ed0626 here, and I am so glad for you guys to be joining me on this video today. Before I start the commentary, please by all means go in the description, follow me on all the social media and streaming platforms you see down in the description below. And, you'll never miss things like a new video, maybe get my thoughts on things as they happen in the gaming community, and of course, get cool gaming clips as well, which I post occasionally as well. So, without further ado, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this commentary. Now, for some strange reason, I waited until now to actually talk about this, but I kind of wanted to wait because I feel like after EA Play, everyone was like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest thing ever, blah blah blah, for the new Star Wars game coming up later this year, which is called Star Wars Squadrons. And not to say that I'm not hyped about it. Actually, this might be the most hyped I've been for a game to come out since, God, I don't even know, maybe Red Dead 2? It's been a while since I've been hyped for any sort of game whatsoever, to be honest with you, or new release of a game. So, this Star Wars Squadrons game, to me, though, looks very promising. So let's talk about that here really quick. So, a lot of this information's already been known, but I'm just going to reiterate some of it and give my thoughts. So that's pretty much how the commentary is going to go. First off, there's a single-player story, which gives a dual perspective. Basically, this whole thing happens after the Battle of Endor, which is kind of like what Battlefront 2 did with their story mode. It happened like during/after the Battle of Endor. And it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It's given us a dual perspective of the New Republic, or I guess you can still call it the Rebellion since it's still after the Battle of Endor. I don't really know. But I don't know how that whole thing works in the Star Wars universe and canon and whatnot. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not like a complete Star Wars nerd like some people are. So some of the stuff is like, whatever it is to me. But it is going to be cool that we actually have a choice to play as two perspectives in the game. And I'm not really sure if it's just two separate campaigns that they made that both have like the same sort of planets and the same sort of missions. It's just, of course, the different perspective is the only thing that's different about it. I don't know. I feel like there's a part of me that it feels like I might get old. If, like, say you go through the entire New Republic phase, and then you play as the Empire in the exact same mission, it's kind of like, I'm not, I've already done this before. Or it's just bouncing back and forth throughout the story. Like, I don't know, like, how would I say it? Like, GTA 5 would be a good example of that. So we'll see how that goes. It sounds pretty cool in theory, so we'll have to see how that's executed. It has multiplayer, obviously, and the most important thing about the multiplayer, at least that I took, was crossplay. So if you have an Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and I'm not sure if it's coming onto PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but if you have any of those, especially PS4 and Xbox One, you can play it with your friends on both consoles, which is going to be super cool. I'm not really sure how PC is going to factor into this. I don't know if they've given that support yet. To be honest with you, I don't want to play against PC players. This is just a fact, they just have superior controls. So I don't want to have to play against someone that's like beasting on me with a PC. I'm fine with playing controller against controller in that regards, but I hope there's a way like there was in Modern Warfare when I played the beta that you can just turn off crossplay for some consoles. So that hopefully becomes a thing. We'll have to see when the game comes out. So apparently this is the one thing about the game that I'm the most iffy on. And as you can tell, Starfighter Assault is a third-person, ship sort of game, which is cool. But they also offer a first-person type mode within the game mode, which I don't really know if it's used all that much. I kind of don't find it helpful. That's just me. However, apparently in Star Wars Squadrons, you're going to be all first-person, baby. It's all first-person VR sort of deal. And while I think that's cool, there are certain things about it, which I'll talk about later in the video, that I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. But I guess the whole point of it is to make you feel like a starfighter pilot, which is cool. And I know there have been older games in Star Wars for years. Like some people reference the TIE Fighter games or the X-Wing games or whatever, Rogue Squadron I think it's called. and they say how it's first person and how it's cool and all that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think it's just one thing that you have to see in order to understand how it actually works. I'm sure the controls will be a little bit more difficult, and of course the sightline is going to be a little bit more difficult to see what's going on. It's not going to be as easy, I think, is the word I'm looking for, as what Starfighter Assault is. Because Starfighter Assault, while it is sort of difficult and has some sort of difficulty to it, it's still relatively casual, especially in how the people play this game mode. No one plays the fucking objective, which bothers the shit out of me. So, there's that. So we'll have to see what happens. There's variables or various Starfighter classes. So basically, they're going the Battlefront 2 route, where it's like, you know, there's a fighter, there's an interceptor, a bomber, and a support ship, which is a new class that they're adding, which I think is cool. I like that idea. I like the fact that you actually can include, you can actually incorporate different ships into your squadron, which is pretty cool. Like, speaking of the squadron, there's actually you can actually play in like teams of 5, I think, which I don't really know how that's going to work out. I'll explain why in a second. You can play in teams of 5, and you can actually like strategize in a before game mode, or in a little hub, I guess you can call, before the game starts, which I see it not. I see where they're going with it and how they're trying to encourage team play, but at the same time, I don't see where they're going with it, because, in all honesty, bro, it's some people just don't use mics, and unless they're gonna offer like dedicated squad support and mic play like they did not do in Battlefront 2, I don't see this working out in any way, shape, or form. Especially if you're playing by yourself, like and not with any friends. And I guess that's where crossplay comes in, because it's trying to support stuff like that, and they're trying to encourage that. I don't really see it being all that useful right now. I could be wrong in the future, but right now I don't see it really working for anyone. So I think that's going to be a thing that's, you know, we'll have to see. Customization, there's going to be plenty of that, both interior and exterior, it seems, which is cool. Again, I don't really see the point of the exterior, which is what I was going to mention earlier. There's really no point in using exterior unless you're seeing your squad's ships. And I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're going to offer exterior customization, there's got to be some sort of third-person sort of deal to it. Which, again, I understand what they're going for in theory with the mechanics and everything. I want to see how my ship looks. I don't want to see how some random guy's ship looks. For all I know, it can look like garbage, and now I gotta look at this dumb ship, while dumb-looking ship that like is totally, the color scheme doesn't match and all that sort of thing. I don't know, just things like that sort of bug me, but it is what it is. So we'll see how that goes as well. There's a couple of modes, which is where I'm confused about 5v5. First mode is called Dogfight, which is a team deathmatch mode, and I don't really know how 5v5 is going to fit into that, man. I really don't. I mean, I feel like 5v5 is too small for a mode like that, unless they do like 10v10 and include, you know, 2 squads, which I think is or 2 squads on each team. English is hard. But yeah, unless they do something like that, I don't really see this being a mode other than what they sort of advertised it to be, which is essentially it's essentially like a testing range for your ship if you change something in the customization, which of course ship customizations are all stuff you can earn through gameplay as well. There's no microtransactions as far as we're aware, which is a good thing. So that's off the table. And the last big mode is called Fleet Battles, which is essentially big capital ships. It's essentially sort of like Supremacy in a way, if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2 Supremacy, just with ships. And I fucking love it, because there was a game I played a long time ago that I only ever made one video on the channel, because I played the beta of it and I really didn't like it that much. It was called Dreadnought, which is like ship v ship combat, and I was like so stoked on it. You know, I was so stoked on it, and then I realized the game really wasn't executed all that well, so I'm like, this game kind of sucks. And I said if Star Wars made a game like this, it would be fucking cool. They're sort of going with it in this case, to an extent, which is I like. Except it's just like the smaller starfighters and not the big capital ships. Which, either way, I still love the idea of going after the enemy's capital ship. Like I'm sure any Star Wars fan's dream is to take out a Star Destroyer. That's just the fact. Or some sort of rebel fighter if you're a, you know, an Empire sympathizer sort of deal. But anyway, guys, like I said before, to conclude this video, I have not felt this hyped for a game in a long time. I hope it is exactly what is executed to be, or you know, advertised to be, I should say. And I just hope the execution of the game is good. Starfighter Assault was fantastic. I liked it for what it was. There were some people that think it could have been done better, and that's all well and good. This is Starfighter Assault on steroids, Star Wars Squadrons. And I can't fucking wait. I really can't. Like I said before, I have not been this hyped about a game probably since Red Dead 2. And that was 2018. So it's been a whole almost 2 years now since I've felt any sort of excitement about an upcoming game. So, or at least, you know, super excited anyway. That's my thoughts on Star Wars Squadrons. Are you going to get the game? Let me know down in the comment section below, and who knows, maybe we'll squad up and we'll wreak havoc in the galaxy for all I know. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.